What's up guys, it's Dan the Bugman back here with another video. As you guessed it, it's Carpenter Bee season. They're out everywhere, flying around like the crazy guys they are. And there's a bunch of them at this customer's house. They just called us because they have all of this nice wooden fence here and these nice wooden shade things on their porch. And the Carpenter Bees are going crazy right now, and it's only like April 5th. They're starting to emerge from the galleries that they built last year. And today I'm going to be showing you exactly how I, as a professional pest control guy, treat these Carpenter Bees. I'm going to be treating things like this fence. The treatment that I am doing today can be used for anything that you have Carpenter Bee issues with. It can be used on like a whole, patio porch, or if you have like a log cabin. We get a lot of customers that have log cabins that the Carpenter Bees really like to burrow into. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I'm treating them, how to handle Carpenter Bees personally, because they can be very intimidating and a lot of people are scared of them, but there's nothing to be scared of. All you really need to know is some simple biology about these Carpenter Bees and what they do, and then you can prevent Carpenter Bee damage, which can be quite extensive. For example, there's some major Carpenter Bee damage on this fence. This wooden pole is probably going to need to be replaced in a couple years, because once you get big holes like this caused by Carpenter Bees and the woodpeckers, then the moisture gets in and it starts to deteriorate the wood much quicker than it would naturally. Here's a quick overview of what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be using a couple of different products today. The main one is something called Fuse Foam. I'm going to be using this to treat the individual galleries where, especially this time of year, guys, these Carpenter Bees, they overwinter in these galleries in the wood, and the adults start to emerge this time of year. And that's why there's so many of them coming out right now. They get a biological signal that it's warm enough to start flying around, and they all start coming out of these galleries. A lot of people are scared of Carpenter Bees, but there's nothing to be scared of. But they start emerging out of galleries in the wood like that. They're always about the same diameter across, about the size of your pinky. They make these galleries and they drill up with the grain of the wood, and there's another entrance right there, and then they lay their eggs in there and their eggs hatch. So it's really important to get into these galleries and treat where these eggs are hatching. The first thing I'm going to be doing today is using this product called Fuse Foam, and it's made by Control Solutions. So that brings me to the next very exciting part of this video, where I am officially announcing that I am sponsored by Control Solutions. Control Solutions Inc. is a company that makes this product specifically, and they also make tons of other products that my company has been using for years. And it's very exciting because I don't have to change anything I'm doing with a lot of my services, because we use their products all the time. Like this product, I already have it in our company's inventory. And I'm going to show you exactly how this product makes my company a ton of money. It helps thousands of customers across Western Kentucky get rid of Carpenter Bees and all kinds of other things like termites and wood boring beetles and any insect that infests wood. Before you guys ever use any restricted pest control products, you have to read the label, and the label is actually on the bottle, which is really nice. They're just everywhere, guys. It's just that time of year. They start being pretty social. They'll fly around and hit each other and just do all these acrobatic stunts, and it's pretty impressive. They only make one entrance to the gallery, and then they'll lay a bunch of eggs in it, and they always burrow with the grain of wood. For example, the grain of wood runs like this. The Carpenter Bee galleries are only going to go like this. They will never go sideways against the grain. Carpenter Bees are pretty smart critters. They will always hide their holes behind things if they can. Right now, I know there's a hole back here, and you can't see it hardly at all, but I can put my finger back there and see right there, guys, that's a Carpenter Bee hole. And they always try to put them on the back side of things, or a lot of times on the underneath side of things. The reason they do that is to hide their precious babies from their biggest predator, which is a woodpecker. And that is caused by a woodpecker finding their gallery and coming in here and pecking it open, and then they stick their beak in there and they pull out the larvae and they eat them as a tasty snack. The Carpenter Bee's biggest problem is hiding their holes from woodpeckers, and they're quite good at it. So when you treat for Carpenter Bees, you have to be able to find their holes. And a good helpful tip for finding Carpenter Bee holes is look for their droppings, which they squirt out of their abdomen, and it's always a whitish yellow looking just little stains. So if you look against that wood is stained this reddish color, but all this yellow and white, that is carpenter bee droppings. And if you look, you can barely see it, guys, right there. Let's see if we can get in there. See that hole right there, guys? That hole is right across from the stained wall. So that's going to give you a very helpful hint to find these galleries. And you just take the fuse foam, and of course you just kind of flip up the nozzle to activate it. It's pretty simple. And I also love this activation device on the top. It's very easy. It's not, and it never leaks or anything like that. You just take it back here and you find the hole. I need 2 hands for this, so I'm gonna set you guys down. And this thing is bendy, so you just kind of bend it into place and then squeeze it and hold it for up to 8 seconds, no more than 8 seconds. Put the end in the gallery, and I got it in the gallery now, and there's about 4 inches of the yellow sticking out. But if I keep pushing it, guys, it keeps going up. So that's telling me this gallery is going all the way up here, and it's probably going all the way up here too. And who knows how high it goes. Guys, that's a good 1.5 feet at least of damage that these carpenter bees have created. So when I pull this, it should maybe come out of the top here. I'm gonna go ahead and treat this gallery. So a lot of it came out of the bottom here. I'm gonna go ahead and hold it for another couple seconds. I think the foam is working against gravity too, because it didn't make it quite all the way up to this entrance. But as long as you get it around the main entrance, guys, they don't use this entrance anymore. Go ahead and treat it. Oh, see, there was another hole on the back side where it came out of. It's kind of funny to watch it expand like that. That's how you treat the individual galleries, and I'm just going to continue doing that for this whole fence and both of those wooden structures up there. And just another helpful hint, guys, carpenter bees, especially on a wooden fence like this, you see how this part's like really thin? That's not thick enough for a carpenter bee to drill into. Now this horizontal piece, on the other hand, is thick enough for them to drill into, but just from looking around, it doesn't look like they've drilled too much into these horizontal ones. I think they've mostly stuck with these thicker ones. It's going to give them better wood and more protection. Don't worry about inspecting these vertical pieces. So something you can do, instead of like having to feel, you know, every single hole behind this, just look against the wall, and if you don't see any yellow spots, then it's pretty likely that there is no carpenter bee damage there, because the carpenter bees will use the same galleries over and over, year after year, and they can quit. Yeah, so there was the entrance on the backside of it. There's all these galleries over here too. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's possible that they're all connected. We'll treat the bottom one here first and then work our way up. Oh, but see this one here? This one's perfect. Goes all the way up, almost the whole length of the nozzle. And I'm squeezing it. Oh, and it came out of that one. So that definitely confirms that they're connected. So I have the nozzle in here, and it's coming out of that hole too. So those two are connected. Let's see about this one here. So sometimes they go down and sometimes they go up. Most of the time they'll go up though. This foam expands to 30 times what the size of it is inside this can. So that's the first part of the treatment for carpenter bees, is to directly treat the holes. Then I'm going to spray the surface of the wood with a general insecticide, and that's going to prevent any new holes, any new carpenter bees from coming in and just drilling a hole next to the old ones. Some people say it's actually possible to catch carpenter bees with your bare hands. And I'm kind of scared too, because you got about a 50-50 shot of being stung, because the males don't sting, but the females do sting. So I'm just kind of guessing, hopefully one of these will be a male, and I'll try to catch it for you guys. I caught it. Woo! That was crazy. I didn't think I'd actually catch it. I've never tried. I've always been scared of getting stung, but that one didn't sting me. I guess I got lucky. And really, guys, that's actually the best way to handle a carpenter bee problem, is to grab one of their like higher ups and squeeze them and just give them a firm talking to and tell them you don't need to be in this area anymore, and just be very firm with them and they'll listen, and you won't have any more problems for a while. Now that I caught one carpenter bee, I kind of want to catch another one. They're starting to scope out this wood here, seeing if it's going to be a good spot to live. I feel like this one might be a female. They're really fun to watch, actually. And they're pretty big insects. Let's go ahead and just knock out the second part of this treatment. I'm going to be using a residual outdoor insecticide to treat the surface area, and especially the underneath surface area and behind areas of these vertical poles and the horizontal poles. It's pretty straightforward. You just turn the nozzle as to much of a mist as you can get it. You want very small particles. You want to cover as much surface area as possible. And it's just a general insecticide I'm using, and you want to mix it with water at a ratio appropriate to the label. And these carpenter bees there's so many of them. So you're coating the surface area that these carpenter bees are most likely to drill into. They'll go all the way to the ground if they need to get away from predators, so you gotta get this bottom one also. Carpenter bees, or wood bees, they're really a unique insect because on one hand, they're great pollinators, they're great for the environment, and they really are not aggressive. They don't hardly ever sting people. But on the other hand, they lay their eggs and they raise their larvae in wood galleries, and people build their houses out of wood, and fences and decks and all kinds of things out of wood. So unfortunately, we have to do some things to help fight the damage that these bees cause throughout the year. And when you have products like fused foam that can get into the galleries and hit them where their larvae and eggs are being raised, then it really goes a long ways in controlling the overall population of carpenter bees in your area. If you can knock out these carpenter bees in the springtime, then you're going to set yourself up for a summer full of carpenter bees not destroying your wood. But if they really start getting going on a tunnel in the spring, they're going to continue on the same tunnel throughout the year, and that's when people start to see that sawdust pile up at the bottom of their decks or porches or stuff like that. Drop a comment if you have any questions about carpenter bees, and I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon.